Alrighty then, hold on to your gadgets. After today's tech update, we've got a call from my weekend show, The Kim Commando Show, that's just too good to skip. There are those who really want a Tesla, but they just can't get past Tesla's price. You can buy a used Tesla from Avis or Hertz, but is this a good idea? I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. Download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free at netsuite.com/Kim. Avis, Hertz, and the others sell their cars once they reach a certain mileage. For the Tesla Model 3, that's 100,000 miles. Often you can buy a 2 or 3-year-old Tesla Model 3, one that costs $45,000 new, for around $17,000. But there's a big caveat. At 100,000 miles, Tesla's battery warranty ends. You're on your own. Of course, with all cars, warranties do expire, and Tesla says its batteries should last for 200,000 to 300,000 miles. And when the battery replacement time comes, and it will, a Model 3 battery averages around $25,000. Something to know before you strike a deal. Join over 600,000 people who get my free newsletter. Sign up at getkim.com. Hey there, tech lovers and wannabes. Want to stay ahead of the game? You've got to check out my YouTube channel. It's amazing. So many people are loving my new and improved channel. For starters, we've got fresh how-to videos every week, like how to block those super annoying political text messages, let important calls through even in Do Not Disturb mode, and oh boy, watch out for sneaky QR codes that can actually brick your phone. It doesn't stop there. Join me for Kim Commando Today, a fun podcast where we break down the latest tech news and trends. It's like talking tech with a friend, minus all the boring stuff. You'll get the latest tips and tricks to keep you in the know and have a little fun while doing it. Plus, who doesn't love being the tech-savvy one in the crowd? So head to youtube.com/Kim Commando, hit subscribe, and make sure you never miss a new video or podcast. That's youtube.com/Kim Commando. And when you're there, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That's youtube.com/Kim Commando with a K, of course. And I'll see you on the video. Now, check out this amazing call from the show. It's a real gem. Fred in Springfield, Virginia. Hi there, Fred.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'm a long-time listener. I remember driving the AM waves with you back in the early 2000s. Now I'm a subscriber to your newsletter and podcasts, and awesome. Thank you for what you do.
Oh, you betcha. Thank you.
Yep. So the bottom line, what I'm looking for guidance on is blood pressure monitoring.
Okay. So
the backstory is I'm getting into the point of life now where I need to monitor my blood pressure. It would be such an ease to have a digital solution on a watch or a phone as opposed to having to put the cuff on, all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
I bought a Samsung Watch 5 about a year ago. And one of the reasons I bought it was built to do blood pressure monitoring. I downloaded the software, got it up and running. It did atrial fibrillation. It did sleep.
But didn't do BP.
Heart rate, didn't blood pressure. Correct. Called customer support a couple of times. They said, hey, it hasn't been FDA approved. I had heard on Reddit that if you go to Europe, that they actually had it as part of their package in Europe. Went to Europe, tried to do a fresh download on the watch. It wasn't out there. So also there's a couple of Google apps that are out there that are built to do blood pressure monitoring, but in my experience, they're nothing more than bloatware. So I'm wondering if you had an idea where the FDA approval is in terms of getting this new Samsung.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. Apple's been trying to get this approval for many years too for their watch. I had heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, Fred, but I had heard at one point that if you downloaded the Canadian version of the app, that you could get blood pressure monitoring on that Watch 5 or the Watch 3. Now, I've never done it. I don't know if that's the truth. I just remember hearing in some weirdo, techno, nerdy conversation that I've had with some people, like, oh, if you go to Canada and you download the app, one of those earshot type of conversations. So sure. You might want to try that, but I'm not exactly sure 100% if it's going to work. Now, there is something called the BP Doctor Pro smartwatch. If doing your blood pressure and keeping monitoring that is really super important, is that it does blood pressure, does oxygen levels, it tracks your workout, your calories, your sleep, your weather. I mean, everything that you might want a smartwatch to do, with the exception of being able to get your text messages, say off your Android or your iPhone. It's about, I want to say it's about $190, $200. And I'll send you a link to it. You might want to check that out. It's like YHE BP Doctor Pro. It's a blood pressure smartwatch specifically made for folks who are having issues with their blood pressure, because you're right. I mean, if you are having issues, you have to monitor it because we don't want you to have a stroke, right? And so I would expect that we're going to see this FDA approval. I was surprised that we don't have it quite yet. I would imagine that in January, that's when we have all the new devices that are announced, and also those that are come to market. It's every year in January, the first or second week of January. It's called the Consumer Electronics Show, and typically happens in Las Vegas. That's at the time of year that if Samsung, Apple, or anybody else, well, I shouldn't say Apple. Apple doesn't go to the Consumer Electronics Show. They kind of have this snobby thing that's like, we don't need to be part of it, right? But every other company in the universe that may have a blood pressure application that does in fact work and that does have FDA approval, that's where they're going to be really bringing all their products to market. And we may see some movement with the Samsung Watch 5 at that point. But until then, take a look at this BP Dr. Pro. I put you on hold. Maddie will send you a link out to it because she's actually screening our calls today. And thank you so much for all your kind words, Fred, and for being with me for so long. It's really good people like you that have enabled me to have such a fabulous career that I love, and being able to help so many people around the world. Big virtual hug for listening. Now, if you want your questions tackled, head to komando.com and find that link that says Email Kim. Yes, sirree. Every single note you send me becomes my must read. Hey, be the tech guru among all your friends and fam. Sign up for my free newsletter over at getkim.com.